Do you do any overhead pressing with your fighters? And if so, what type do you see or feel is most efficient?
Okay, so with overhead pressing, they again we go back to having the prerequisites to do so, right?
Yep.
So that goes back to the assessment. If they cannot properly get into shoulder flexion without load, I'm not going to load that pattern,
Yep.
right? You're going to hurt them. So at the end of the day, primarily what I see is lack of external rotation and lack of shoulder flexion
Yep.
because they are kyphotic in nature due to the sport. Tight lats, tight anterior delt, tight pec minor, which causes that kyphotic rolled over posture.
Yep.
So we will increase the range of motion inside that joint capsule so that in time, yes, we can do those vertical overhead presses.
Yep.
But for now, we will regress and go to the floor. We'll do horizontal presses, things like that. Now, can you get them stronger without vertical pressing? Yes, of course. That doesn't make any sense, right? What we can do, though, is to give them a better overall structure of body. We want to make sure that we're increasing range of motion in each joint capsule throughout the kinetic chain.
Yep.
And then, but we do not stall on our training as far as strength and power and speed and things like that. We just do it in a different way that's efficient and effective for the athlete.
Yep.
As long as they have the prerequisites to do a movement, we can do it. But it comes from the assessment first.
Yep. I had Stan Efforting on a little while back. We were talking about strength stuff and philosophy. And he basically, and I'll paraphrase because, you know, he probably did about 8 minutes on it, that it's all about, it's just loading the spine. At the end of the day, that at the top level, that's really what it comes down to. It's just loading the spine, repetitively loading the spine with volume and or intensity. You know, that basically what it is. And that's a very simplistic but basic, which is perfect form of it, right? So you see a lot of these, you know, very isolated exercises being performed in the gym for, you know, 15, 45 minutes, what have you, where that would have been much better. The entire session would have been much better with, you know, 10% of that time of just loading the spine at high intensity and walking out and going home. You can do a little bit more for sure, but that's the crux of it, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and in the case of loading the spine and axial loading and in general, you know, whenever I load the spine, I want to decompress the spine because they are getting beat up on a constant basis. So we do things like reverse hypers. We do things like hanging leg raises and GHRs and things like that to help decompress the spine, get some traction in there so that you can keep the spine healthy, right? Primarily, a lot of low back injuries you see due to the fact, listen, I powerlift. I know how it feels to have a tight low back. You know, what we don't want to do is we don't want to repetitively load the spine without giving it some decompression so that you can have more longevity in the sport, and then also making sure that we're getting it stronger, but also from every range of motion.
Yep. I got Teeter Hang-Ups. You know what those are? Those inversion boots?
Yep.
When I first got them, I was like a fucking idiot. If I can hang for 5 minutes, I should probably try and do it for 10 minutes. And then, you know, fucking after a while of doing it, because at first it feels great at first when you get used to the blood rush. It feels great. And I would only do it with someone else in the facility, right? Because I'm not going to fucking pass out and be stuck upside down like a dead vampire, right? Anyway, so I did it, and I was getting to the point that it was creating damage. I was pulling my fucking hips out, right? Pulling my lumbar out. And I had to give it a little bit of time off. And now when I go up, I'll go up for like 3 to 5 minutes. You know, a day, every other day or so. I got the hyper here, reverse hyper, leg raises, weighted leg raises, what have you. Some band work, prone band work with bands, just, you know, pulling on the hips, pulling on the ankles, pulling inwards, upwards. You know, and that's all the, I don't want to say easy shit, but 5 minutes, 8 minutes a day, if you really want to be efficient about it, get your shit together, that people skip. And it's those are the times, those are the issues that people are full of shit. They want to be there. They want to achieve. They want to be special. They want to, you know, get something done. But like I talk about the goal setting, they won't take 5 fucking minutes to write a goal down with a crayon in the morning, right? But they want to go and be a millionaire and you whatever, get the pretty girl or whatever.
If you are a fighter or someone who wants to start training in MMA, listen up. My name is Phil Daru. I am the head performance coach of American Top Team. I train some of the elite MMA athletes in the world, such as Dustin Poirier, King Mo Lawal, Frankie Edgar, Junior Dos Santos, Edson Barboza, and Joanna Jedrzejczyk. Going to MMA gyms or hiring a personal trainer can get extremely expensive over time. So if you want to get in shape and train using the exact program of the top MMA fighters for an affordable one-time price, check out Fight Ready in the description below.